Have you ever felt overwhelmed just looking at your cell phone? The constant notifications, apps you don't even remember downloading, and that feeling of mental exhaustion when you haven't done anything productive? That's exactly how I felt, until I decided to do some digital decluttering, which is basically a big cleanup of my digital life. And the result? Less stress, more focus, more peace of mind. Today, I'm going to show you step by step how I cleaned up my digital life. If you feel like technology is taking over your time and your mind, this video is for you. Step 1. What is digital decluttering? Digital decluttering, or digital detox, is a concept that has gained momentum in recent years, particularly with the exponential growth of technology and the ubiquity of digital devices in our lives. But what does it mean exactly? In short, it's a conscious and intentional process of eliminating anything unnecessary or harmful from your digital life, whether it's apps you don't use, notifications that bother you, social media accounts that don't add value, or even the multitude of digital files that have accumulated and are cluttering up your space and your mental organization. We live in an age where technology should be our ally, facilitating communication, work, learning, and even leisure. However, the opposite is often true. Excessive dependence, a constant feeling of overload and anxiety caused by the enormous amount of digital stimuli and distractions that surround us every day. Digital decluttering is emerging as a practical and necessary response to regain control of your attention and time, which are increasingly precious and scarce resources. This process goes far beyond simply deleting apps from your phone or closing tabs in your browser. It involves thinking deeply about the role technology plays in your life and which digital tools and habits really matter for your well-being, productivity, and personal fulfillment. It's an invitation to take a critical look at your digital world by asking yourself the following questions. Does this help or hinder me? Does it add value or stress to my life? An important source of inspiration for this movement comes from the book Digital Minimalism by author Cal Newport, which proposes precisely this idea of digital minimalism, where the goal is not to abandon technology, but to use it in a more conscious, selective, and productive way. Digital decluttering is therefore a fundamental first step in this philosophy, a time to reset your relationship with the digital world and create a healthier foundation for your online interactions. The process of digital decluttering can be thought of as a cleanup, a big digital spring cleaning that removes everything that is not essential, leaving room for what really matters. This may include, for example, uninstalling apps that you downloaded out of curiosity and never used, or that you used but realized were just wasting your time without providing anything useful. It also means turning off notifications that only distract you, those constant alerts that interrupt your concentration and increase your anxiety levels. In addition, reviewing your social media and contacts can help reduce mental noise by decreasing the amount of information and stimuli you consume on a daily basis, especially those that don't provide any real benefit. Another important aspect of digital decluttering is organizing your digital tools, such as your emails, files, and documents in the cloud. Often, the accumulation of unread messages, newsletters you no longer care about, and scattered files creates a sense of chaos and lack of control. By adopting simple digital organization and cleaning practices, you improve your efficiency and reduce the stress associated with digital overconsumption. In addition, digital decluttering involves setting clear limits on the use of technology, i.e., establishing personal rules to avoid being glued to your phone or computer all the time. For example, by setting times for checking social media or working offline at certain times of the day. These limits are essential to ensure that technology does not consume your free time or your mental health. In short, digital decluttering is much more than a technical action. It's a mindset shift, a conscious decision to take control of your digital world so that it works for you, not against you. It's about regaining your attention, peace of mind, and time by learning to use technology in a smart, healthy, and balanced way. If you feel constantly distracted, stressed, or exhausted by your digital routine, digital decluttering could be the first step toward transforming your relationship with technology and, as a result, improving your quality of life. Because fewer apps and fewer notifications don't mean less life, but rather more space to live better. Step 2. Digital decluttering, step by step. When I decided to declutter my digital devices, I realized that the process had to be simple, straightforward, and practical. After all, the goal wasn't to complicate my life, but to make my use of technology lighter and healthier. So I organized everything into clear steps that helped me detox my phone, computer, and even my social media. And it's precisely this step-by-step guide that I want to share with you, so you can start your own digital cleanse right now. The first essential step was to uninstall non-essential apps. Over time, we accumulate hundreds of apps, many of which are downloaded out of curiosity, on the recommendation of friends, or simply on a whim. The problem is that most of them end up being forgotten, taking up storage space and consuming data or battery power without really being useful to us. So I did some sorting. I looked at each app and asked myself if I had used it in the last 2 weeks. If the answer was no, it was time to delete it. This simple decision had an immediate impact, freeing up space and reducing distractions. What's more, fewer apps means fewer icons on the screen and fewer options to get lost in distractions. Next, I worked on disabling notifications. I admit that before, my cell phone was like a never-ending alarm clock, with alerts from social media, promotions, group messages and emails popping up all day long. It took some courage to disable everything. I started with social media notifications, which are the most distracting and increase anxiety. I disabled WhatsApp notifications for groups that don't require my immediate attention, and even email notifications which were endless. The result? Digital silence that gave me more mental space to think, work, and relax without constant interruptions. Another essential step was to organize my phone's home screen. Instead of keeping dozens of apps scattered across multiple pages, I left only the essentials on the main screen: my calendar, my notepads, my meditation app, and of course, the phone. This made it easier to find what really matters and prevented me from impulsively clicking on social media or gaming apps. I also used folders to group apps by category, such as finance, health, reading, and productivity. This simple organization has helped me a lot in creating a cleaner and more functional digital environment. I also went through a process of unsubscribing from social media and newsletters. Over time, we follow a lot of people, channels, and mailing lists that don't add much to our lives, or even generate negative feelings, such as anxiety and comparison. I did a big cleanup. I unsubscribed from newsletters I didn't even read and unfollowed profiles that made me feel anxious, unmotivated, or distracted. This has completely changed the quality of the content I consume, making my news feed lighter and more inspiring. I also took the time to clean up my email inbox and cloud storage. Leaving thousands of emails and documents scattered around creates clutter that not only causes stress, but also makes it difficult to find important information when you need it. I deleted everything that didn't make sense, created folders and automatic filters to sort messages by topic and priority, and archived important documents in specific locations. This process has given me more control over my inbox and reduced the feeling of overload when I open it. Finally, I've established some personal rules for using technology that are essential for maintaining balance. For example, No cell phones during the first hour of the morning or before bed, when I prefer to focus on myself, my family, and rest. I have also set time slots for using social media and other tools, avoiding passive and automatic use of my cell phone. This helps me avoid wasting time and be more present in the moment. By following these steps, digital decluttering is no longer a difficult task, but a natural habit. The feeling of being in control, rather than being dominated by technology, has brought a new balance to my life. Better yet, with fewer apps, fewer notifications, and more organization, the time I used to waste on distractions is now invested in activities that really matter to me, such as reading, exercising, and spending time with my loved ones. If you also feel like your digital life is messy and exhausting, try following these steps. Start slowly, eliminating only what you don't use, and adjust your rules until you find what works for you. The important thing is to understand that a lighter digital life is possible and can transform your routine, your mood, and even your productivity. Step 3. The concrete benefits I've seen. Once I finished my digital cleanse, I started to notice profound and positive changes in various aspects of my life. Changes that, honestly, I never imagined would happen so quickly and so intensely. One of the first benefits I noticed was a significant reduction in my daily stress. Before, my phone was constantly ringing with notifications from all over, social media, messages, emails, various apps, which created constant anxiety, a kind of invisible pressure that made me tense even when I was trying to relax or focus on my work. By uninstalling unnecessary apps and turning off most of these notifications, my digital environment became calmer, more manageable, and my mind, as a result, more peaceful. It was as if a layer of mental noise had been removed, allowing me to breathe more easily and focus on the tasks that really mattered. Another significant benefit was the time I gained, which was actually the case from the beginning of the process, but only became apparent after a while. Without all those digital distractions, I spent much less time on my phone or computer, aimlessly scrolling, that infamous infinite scroll that steals hours from our day without us even realizing it. With fewer apps to open, fewer notifications to check, and a more organized digital routine, I began to realize that I could devote my time to more productive and rewarding activities, such as reading, exercising, and spending time with my friends and family. This found time gave me a sense of freedom and control that motivated me to continue my digital decluttering process. What's more, the quality of my sleep has improved significantly. Before, I often found myself scrolling through social media feeds late at night, which disrupted my rest and left me feeling tired the next day. With digital decluttering, I started limiting my cell phone use, especially before bed, and noticed that my mind calmed down more easily, allowing me to sleep more deeply and peacefully. This had a direct impact on my mood and energy levels throughout the day, improving my productivity and morale. Mental clarity has also been one of the most significant gains. By reducing the amount of digital stimuli, my mind has become less scattered and more focused. This has made it easier for me to make decisions, plan my tasks, and complete my activities without constant interruptions. The feeling of being in control of my attention has had a very positive impact on my self-esteem and overall well-being. Another thing that surprised me was the improvement in my interpersonal relationships. By spending less time in front of screens, I became more present in conversations, meetings, and family moments. Communication has become more authentic and meaningful, as I no longer divide my attention between my phone and other people. This has strengthened my bonds and given me a sense of real connection, which excessive digital stimuli often prevent. In addition, reducing my consumption of negative or superficial content has been a huge benefit. By cleaning up my social media and unsubscribing from profiles that made me anxious, stressed, or unmotivated, I was able to create a healthier and more inspiring digital environment. This has contributed to a more positive and motivated mindset, which has a direct impact on my attitudes and choices in my daily life. Finally, digital decluttering has given me a renewed sense of freedom and autonomy. By controlling technology and not letting it control me, I feel like I've regained a part of my life that was previously diluted by distractions and excess. This digital freedom is actually emotional and mental freedom, which allows me to live with more presence, focus, and balance. In short, digital decluttering has not been a simple technological change, but a profound transformation that has had a positive impact on my mental health, relationships, productivity, and quality of life. The concrete benefits I've seen show that it's really worth investing time and effort in cleaning up our digital lives, because the result goes far beyond the space freed up on our phones. It has a direct impact on our well-being and happiness. Step 4. How to organize your digital life for the long term. Organizing your digital life for the long term may seem more difficult than the initial cleanup. But with a few simple strategies and a little discipline, it's entirely possible to turn this practice into a lasting habit. The first secret to maintaining this organization is to be constantly aware of your technology use. This means regularly asking yourself whether using a particular app, social network, or digital service really adds value to your life, or if it's just wasting your time and energy for no reason. This exercise in self-criticism helps prevent the unnecessary accumulation of apps, files, and subscriptions, and keeps your digital environment clean and functional. Another essential practice for keeping your digital space tidy is to establish a regular review and cleanup routine. Just as we clean our homes, it's important to set aside some time, for example, once a month or every 2 months, to review your installed apps, active notifications, and the organization of your digital files and folders. This attention prevents clutter from building up again and helps you stay in control of your digital life. During this review, it's also helpful to delete duplicate photos or those that no longer have meaning, unsubscribe from newsletters you no longer read, and get rid of documents and files that don't need to be kept. In addition, it is essential to set clear limits on the use of technology to prevent screen time from distracting your attention and concentration again. To do this, you can use tools such as time control on your cell phone, apps that monitor social media use, or simply create personal rules, such as not using your cell phone during meals, avoiding using it before bed, or setting specific times to check your emails and messages. These limits help you maintain balance and quality in your time, preserving the mental well-being you gain from digital cleansing. Another useful tip is to make a list of essential apps and only allow new apps to be installed after careful consideration. This practice helps avoid impulsive downloads and repeating the cycle of digital accumulation. If you need a new app, assess its real usefulness, how much time you are likely to spend using it, and whether it will actually contribute to your productivity or quality of life. It is often better to look for simple solutions or use features already present in apps you already use, rather than accumulating more programs. To make organization easier, use digital productivity tools such as task managers, online calendars, and note-taking apps. Used consciously and strategically, these tools help centralize information and commitments, saving you from having to rely on multiple disorganized apps. However, the key is to use a few tools, not several at once, as too many solutions can lead to confusion and decreased efficiency. It's also important to take care of your digital security by ensuring your passwords are up to date, enabling two-factor authentication and regularly backing up your most important data. Digital organization is not just about space and order, but also about preserving the integrity and confidentiality of your information, preventing losses or intrusions that can be very damaging. Finally, cultivating a minimalist and disciplined mindset toward technology is key to lasting success. It's not about eliminating digital use altogether, but rather using it consciously and in a balanced way, prioritizing what really matters and discarding what is superfluous. Maintaining this mindset helps you resist the temptation to overindulge, focus on the present, and build a healthier relationship with the digital world, which is a tool designed to make life easier, not a source of stress. In summary, to organize your digital life for the long term, you need to combine self-awareness, a maintenance routine, clear boundaries, conscious choices, strategic tools, security, and a minimalist mindset. With these practices, digital decluttering is no longer a one-time event, but a way of life that brings more focus, less anxiety, and much more quality to your daily life. Achieving this took more than just an organizational process. It required a shift in focus, presence, and intention, and perhaps that is where the true silent revolution of digital decluttering lies. In a world where everyone is rushing to connect more, true wisdom may lie in choosing what we connect to, and more importantly, what we decide to disconnect from. Excessive digital stimuli steal not only our time, but also the depth of our experiences. When you silence the noise, you can finally hear what really matters: your ideas, your emotions, your creativity. If you're looking for more clarity, more focus, more peace, you don't need to look outside yourself. The first step may be in your pocket, on your cell phone, and the second step is simply choosing to continue. Continue to be mindful. Continue to be light, continue to be in control of your time, because ultimately decluttering your digital life is a silent act of freedom.